There you go. Okay.
Calling the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting to order at 6:11. Okay, can we get an approval on the minutes for May 2021? Or a motion?
Madam Vice Chair, I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Awesome. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? I don't know what you're supposed to say, but we didn't hear
Motion
anything.
passes unanimously.
Perfect. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Matt. Appearance of interested citizens. Do we have the sheet yet? Or you want me to go grab it?
We signed up for that.
Thanks, Robert. We're good? Okay, well then, let's move into new old business. Grant request from Isabella. Come on up. Welcome.
Hello.
So Isabella, can you state your name and city of residence for the record, please?
My name is Isabella Biondi, and I'm from the city of Keizer.
Awesome. And tell us a little bit about what you are requesting today.
So I am requesting a grant to paint a mural at Keizer Rapids Park near the Big Toy.
Awesome. And can you tell me a little bit about what that location at the Big Toy would look like? Or is this a wall that would be built?
It's a mural that would be painted.
Okay, a mural on?
The bathroom
Perfect.
where nearby the Big Toy would be one of the walls that faces kind of where the parking is.
Perfect.
I have some concept art if you would like to see.
Is that this right here?
Those are some examples of what it would generally look like, but I have some more of my own design
Awesome.
here.
Let's see it. Or start. Yep.
Okay.
So, Isabella, you need to tell them that you're part of the Arts Commission and a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm the youth liaison for the Public Arts Commission, and I've been doing art all throughout high school. I actually just got back from senior awards today. I've been doing art for kind of all my life, and I've been making murals both at school and for volunteer work. And I just think this would be a great opportunity for the community to have a mural in one of their most popular parks.
Awesome.
One of the, if I may,
Yes,
one of the criteria of Insta Art is it's supposed to be a location. So people, when they get there, when they take their picture, the plan is, I believe, to have the Big Toy logo somewhere on the wall as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that when the picture is taken and posted Insta Art, it's posted Instagram, I think. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay, then it kind of gets some advertising out for Big Toy, Keizer Big Toy, and so that's part of it.
Awesome. Yes, Matt.
So Bella, a couple questions. One, are you asking for this under the youth grant program or the regular grant program?
The youth program.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about the wings. What about the Big Toy use as wings? What was your thought process there?
Come again?
What was your thought process about doing wings at the Big Toy?
So, the reason why we chose multiple wings is because people who come to the Big Toy are typically there with their families, specifically kind of like their kids, and it just is like an extra little bit of attraction, kind of a fun thing for families to be like, oh, look, there's a mural over here, let's take pictures in front of it. And it just helps when you see pictures posted on various social media sites. It has the logo somewhere, probably on the top right, and kind of tells people where they are online, and yeah.
So follow-up, is there a preferred product that in the event that somebody chose to deface the murals, is there a means to minimize any damage to that? Do we know anything like a covering Robert or anything like that?
I believe for the Keizer Public Arts Commission, anytime a piece of art is placed, they have a particular material that they use right after it's put up for anti-vandalism.
You drew these?
Yes.
My stick figures look like balls and squares. These are awesome.
Thank you.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Will the mural, proposed mural be right on the wall, or will it be on a separate material?
It'll probably be right on the wall.
So you're a senior right now.
Yes.
You're wanting to do a project. That's awesome. Congratulations on graduating, by the way, which is what, tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yay.
Thank you.
Where do you go from here?
I'm going to work a little bit over the summer, and in the fall, I'm enrolling to George Fox University and majoring in illustration.
Any other questions? Oh, sorry. Any other questions for Isabella?
So just one follow-up. This is a concept that was brought before the, I'm looking for the word, but I'm not finding it. Is it the Arts Commission? What am I looking for? Yeah, Public Arts Commission, right?
Yes.
And so they're good to go with it, Kim? Okay. So this is a cool opportunity to do a collaborative project, it sounds like. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. So we need, what, 3 motions here, Debbie?
Yes, I'm right, so.
Okay.
Great. All right, so I would like to make a motion to approve the concept. I don't know what the concept means, but,
Well, I think that's
It's
kind
that-
of what she's got drawn out.
okay, great.
And the idea of putting any Insta art on that wall.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the concept as described in the application and in the handouts to allow for art at the Keizer Rapids. I'm just going to say Keizer Rapids Park, just in case we have another location.
And I'll second that. Any discussion?
As long as there's dragon wings, I can see my grandson in front of those dragon wings.
About that.
I think that's really cool. Yeah.
Yes, dragons, I love them so
Yes,
much.
dragons are awesome.
So Matthew, you're okay with this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So do I need to say all in favor? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
so question, Debbie, on the design, do we have to pick a specific design or is it just, are we leaving it to interpretation of the artist?
Isabella will be presenting her exact design to the Arts Commission, and they will be the ones that will approve it. That's why you approved the concept.
So we don't need a motion to approve design?
Well, no, our city attorney said we needed all these motions, so whether we think we do or not, I think we just need to go ahead and do it so they're satisfied.
So I will make a motion to approve the design recommendations and forward said approval to the Public Arts Commission so they can make final approval and recommendation to the city council.
I'll second that.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
And, I guess we didn't have discussion though, right? Sorry. I'm new at this, so I'm stumbling. All of, anybody who opposes? Motion passes unanimously.
So I do have one question about the money amount. You're asking for $200.
Yes.
Robert, is this, so this is for next fiscal year, so starting July 1st.
Correct.
Is $200 going to cover it? Because I can tell you right now, supplies are not cheap. They're going up. When's the last time you got a bid?
Well, about $200 of paint supplies are probably going to be donated to us from Sherwin-Williams.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, so is that brushes and paints and all that stuff, right?
Well, we didn't actually ask for that, but we might have to go back, so.
Okay.
It's about like 170 for the paints, and then I added a 30 for the brushes. I also have some of my own, so it'll be kind of up in the air what else needs to be purchased.
All right, I think history tells me $200 isn't going to be enough.
Okay.
Isabella, don't you have $200 coming from the Arts Commission as well?
Yes.
Well, I want to be better than them. I want to give her a little more money. I want to give her $201.
Oh, jeez.
I think it might be prudent to consider an extra 100 just in case. So say up to $300. The reason for that, I think historically with the project over at the gazebo, and I think what we've ran into with a few of them is because of construction costs and everything else, we've seen increased costs. So I think a 50% bump would give her a little bit of room if necessary. If she doesn't need the full 300, then great. Thoughts on that?
With the understanding that it's not, here's 300, spend it, it's, let's see what we can do and make it work, and oops, we're going over, we have some extra money to spend if we need to.
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, it's $300. It's a drop in the bucket for the overall.
Grant, or youth grant program, I think is probably in line with that.
Right. Yeah, because it's the next fiscal year, which I think got reapproved for 15,000, correct? Okay, so I would like to make so I believe that this falls within the park's rules. It is going to a park. It does add to the value of the park. I think it falls within the same conceptual thought process of like a bench or something like that, although it won't be sat on or anything else like that. So I would like to make a motion to approve the youth grant request for up to $300 for the project.
I second that motion.
Any discussion?
The only thing I'd say is like, nah, never mind, we're good.
Good. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Wonderful.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You got
On
50%
both
more than what you
fronts.
asked for.
So
You
you're
get-
going to work with Robert, he'll help you.
Okay, thank you. Awesome.
And you got a great mentor there with Kim, and she'll help you out with all the things you need to make sure you're successful. So,
All right,
great work.
thank you.
Wonderful. Isabella, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy
I think-
graduation.
Thank
Wayne's
you.
got it.
Oh, sorry, Wayne.
I have a story about murals
Yeah, great.
in Ontario, Oregon, Eastern Oregon. I created a soccer field, and, well, I actually did several. The first time I went over to this park, and it had a whole bunch of graffiti on the fence. And so we created a project to paint the fence. And another group painted some soccer murals on the fence. And then so I went over to look at the soccer murals.
Now it is. Okay, so I went over to look at the soccer murals, and I looked around and I decided, hey, this park needs a soccer field. And so with the help of the Ontario Kiwanis Club, we created a soccer field. But going back to the murals, it used to be all graffiti on that fence. But once the mural went up, there was no more graffiti on that fence.
Great.
The neighborhood, the community respected the mural.
Awesome. Maybe we need a mural in Temper Tunnel, because there's been a lot of graffiti there. But that's awesome to hear. I hope that we have no issues, and it's going to be awesome addition to our park.
I think it's super cool. We got a graduating senior as of tomorrow coming in and still want to do a project. I mean, I'd like to really encourage other young people in our community to come out and do this. So people got ideas. I mean, bring them forward. I would have never assumed we were going to be talking about doing art on bathrooms, but it's kind of cool.
Right.
Kind of cool.
Awesome. Okay, we're jumping into parks reports, and we received Mike's park report via pictures and notes. I don't believe he has any concerns, except for at Sunset Park, talking about erosion. Robert?
Yeah. We took a look at that. I'll say it's not a invalid concern, but it's kind of some typical activity along the Willamette River where you see the edge of the bank, you kind of have a gravel bar and then a step up and then our grass that goes into Sunset Park. And it's been observed that over the last number of years that shelf or cliff drop off, if you will, which is about 3 feet tall, has been slowly moving back. So it's something we're gonna keep our eyes on. We're not going to go gangbusters and just go down there and do a whole bunch of work. Anytime we do work along the river, we need to get proper permits to do so. And it's not, it's not a type of erosion at this point that if we have one more high water event, it's just gonna wash all the park away. It's much firmer than that. So it's something we're gonna keep our eyes on, and if it continues to get worse, we may do something about it. But for right now, we're just gonna not do anything with it.
Okay. And then he also reported on Willamette Manor, and everything looks good except for some small branches, but I don't think that there's anything to be concerned about that. So, move on to the next park report. Clay.
Hidden Creek is still there. Not a lot to report on that. Bear is looking really good. Everything seems to be somewhat cleaned up after all the mess that we encountered over the last few months, but it's looking good, and it's a good pass-through between a couple of neighborhoods that's well used.
Matthew?
Keizer Little League, it's really clean. I always loved that park. The only thing that I really saw with the Keizer Little League was just the parking lot. There's a lot of garbage. I was thinking actually of bringing some of my kids and some nieces and nephews there this weekend and just cleaning things up. Just the parking lot. I mean, everything else looks really well maintained and good. So, Palmacia is beautiful right now. Really thick, really green. Looks like Parks was just in there maybe last week and cut all the blackberries back and everything. But from when we were there a month and a half ago, I mean, it looks like a completely different park with it all being lush and green, and the little orchard area is all filled, and yeah, it looks much different than it did in the latter part of March. But yeah, it looks really good. Looks like a couple of dead trees that are basically standing up towards the north end of the park, being held up by ivy, maybe.
Two questions for you on that. Which side of the river wall and how large of trees are we talking?
On the west side of the river wall, maybe 1.5 feet in diameter. A couple of them look like branches even coming off.
Okay.
But clearly gray and dead. Okay. One of them looks like it fell at the far end of the park, right there by the private property line. One of them already fell. It's just laying there.
Okay.
So.
I have a question, Robert, regarding Keizer Little League. Do we have confirmation on who was awarded the RFP for, or are you going to be talking about that? Or did we already talk about that?
We have not talked about that. It is not final yet, but for the love of the game, got the RFP process going. So I don't know if maybe you could speak to that more as far as what's been discussed at council level. But I don't think anything's final.
No,
No.
nothing's final.
Nothing's final.
Okay. Anything else, Matthew?
No, that's it.
Matt, take it away.
Here we are. Did not get much of an opportunity to go out to Northview. It's been a pretty chaotic last couple of weeks for me. Actually, last couple of months. But Wallace House, on the other hand, Clay Creek Watershed Council did another project out there 2 weekends ago, which was great. It was a project that the McNary Junior ROTC folks sort of spearheaded, along with a bunch of the neighbors from the West Keizer Neighborhood Association. They were able to fill the majority of the dump trailer with all kinds of blackberries and ivy, and I think a bunch of stinging nettles as well. But it sounds like the project went really, really well. We scheduled it for way too long, but you know, that's just kind of what happens when you get folks out there. And I got to apologize. There was a miscommunication piece on my end when I sent the email. Lunch was originally intended to be provided for the JROTC folks, and that was miscommunicated. And so I'm committed to buying the folks at West Keizer pizza one night at one of their meetings because I think they were left out. So if somebody wants to take me up on that, happy to do it. I replied back in an email to apologize about that situation, but unfortunately they were left out of the lunch thing because it wasn't part of the plan for the GRTC kids who the master sergeant had planned on doing that for them, and it just got included in the overall general email, so my apologies on that. But yeah, other than that, looking to go take a look at it. They did a lot of really good work down there. Wallace House is turning into one of those kind of really neat natural areas to go down there and kind of check stuff out. The ice storm kind of created some additional challenges down there, but Robert and his folks went down there along with the contract guy and did a bunch of work, and it's just kind of turning into a neat little park. If you go down there early in the morning, especially along the river, a lot of times you can see deer and stuff playing out there. So it's pretty neat. And Mark Callier, I ended up having to actually work that Saturday for my job. I was out of town up in the canyon, and Mark Callier ran the project for me. So pretty unfortunate I wasn't able to be there, but it went good. So thank you to Mark for taking that project on that day.
Awesome. Staff report. Oh, just kidding. Wayne, go ahead.
Hi, Tanya. I'm not really on the agenda, but I do have an update for Country Glen Park.
Do you
There
want
was an Eagle Scout project that I'm aware of. They painted the pavilion.
Yeah.
And maybe the tables too, I'm not sure about that. And I happen to know the Eagle Scout, he's my grandson. So that was Tyler Guptill, Troop 21, and he organized a group of his other scouts to paint the outside of the pavilion and some tables. And the last month I reported that the trees were broken but still standing. And when my wife went over and looked at the trees, and she says the trees had been removed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cottonwood trees along the trail. Yes, sir.
Okay. Along the trail. Okay, not the,
Oh, you're talking the ones out front?
yeah.
Those two.
Okay, so are they going to be replaced?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. We're going to be doing a lot of tree planting this fall, but not during the heat of the summer.
I have one other update that came across Facebook or somewhere, that there was a memorial bench in Keizer Rapids. Someone put a laminated piece of material with someone's name on it, and then attached it to a bench with some zip ties.
Oh.
And it's it looks fine, it looks great, but I don't think it was approved by this group.
I'll have to go back and look at the.
And I don't know exactly which bench it is. Somewhere in Keizer Rapids, there's
Okay.
a bench.
It's like a couple hundred yards down the trail on the left.
I'll double check everything. I don't know that all memorial benches must be approved by the Parks Board, but I'll double check on that and let you know. I don't believe they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like it was just done with, don't we have some guidelines of how it's supposed to be done?
Was not aware that something was zip tied to a bench. That's subpar, so I will follow up.
Yeah, it looks like a, pretty efficient approach.
Yeah.
Can easily be changed.
Yeah. Not a problem.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Awesome. Staff report. Robert?
So, yes, we have had some Eagle Scout projects going on. Another one, other than what Wayne mentioned, was there are 3 new benches installed down at Wallace House Park now, located in various areas to enhance the river viewing.
Sweet.
One is, actually 2 of them are up top. One is kind of down on the middle shelf, if you will. So if you're familiar with that park, I encourage you to go check those out. I know some of the people that live in that neighborhood were very excited to see those as they are out doing their exercising. Gives them a nice little place to sit down in the shade and take a little break. So that project turned out very nice, and as well did the one up at Country Glen. Nice rehab on our picnic shelter there. So I did not know that was your grandson, but that's cool. Jeff Davis is unable to attend the meeting tonight, but he was going to come talk to you guys and let you know that his exercise stations, Claggett Creek Park, Wallace House, and Keizer Rapids Park, are almost complete. The folks doing the rubber surfacing have been here this week, kind of dodging rain showers. The first base layer is down at all the sites, and they're hoping to have the second layer down tomorrow, and hopefully have those opened up by this weekend. So I encourage anybody to get out there and use those and give us some feedback on what you think of them. Splash fountain, we're planning on opening the splash fountain the last week of June. 22nd is our target opening date, assuming nothing goes wrong on the dewinterization and startup of it. So we'll just have to wait and see, and if I need to get some parts here for that, I will do so. But it's usually a pretty easy opener. Northview Terrace Park, we have a new concrete staircase that's been poured. The forms are still around it. They will be removing those this weekend, and that'll be something that'll be open to the public to come down Wiesner Drive as an access point into the park where the Hill of Ivy is, if you know where I'm talking. So that's a nice little addition. And last, we have a job opening in Parks right now. It's just posted to the web. So if you know anybody looking for a job in Keizer Parks that maybe has some experience doing grounds maintenance or construction, encourage them to apply. So there we go.
Thank you.
Tanya,
Yes.
I have one more update. At Wallace House Park, there's a peace pole that was put in by Roger Fishers.
I saw that in the news and I was waiting because we had approved that a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
That work?
So Wallace House has one, Country Glen and Ryan Hill, and then there's going to be one going in at Keizer Rapids as well, and then a few other businesses, local businesses. Yes, she has started installing them.
Thanks for that update. Our council liaison report, Councilor Smith, take it away.
Thank you very much. So I do know as far as parks go, last night we did approve the placement of a Sasquatch in Keizer Rapids Park where you were standing in the picture.
Yes.
Is the one we selected by the 2 trees. So I'm not sure when that's going in, but we're all pretty excited about that. Thought that was going to be really cool.
The 28th.
28, yeah, so that was a topic of discussion last night, so that was approved by council, so that is, I think everyone really is excited about that. In other news, the big thing obviously is the hiring of the interim city manager, and then the secondary process, which is hiring the permanent city manager. Both have been a very time-consuming process. But we do have someone who has been recommended to be moved forward before the council, and we will have a meet and greet session on Monday to where we can actually ask questions and things like that. So that is, again, an interim city manager who is someone who has had previous interim city manager experience, but that doesn't mean it's the final city manager. The final city manager actually goes into a full recruitment mode where we bring in an outside recruiting agency, and it goes nationwide. So there's a few learning processes in this. Obviously, we had our city manager for over 20 years. So the policies and procedures as to how to do this have been at times challenging, especially when you don't have that person in that leadership role. But we're learning, and I'm working very closely with Mayor Clark and the HR department and the city attorney, obviously, because I've got a little HR experience in my day-to-day life. So that has been a very interesting process, and we're going to try to make sure everybody understands it as we go forward so that everyone has a voice in it. And they will have an opportunity for citizens to participate in the process once we actually get everything kind of settled with the middle one, and then the final one will be a much larger process with different groups and such talking. So we're going to get there. It's just still, it takes a little bit of time. And in addition to that, I think that's pretty much the biggest thing on the plate at the moment. Did you guys have any questions for any of the council stuff? And we're not moving the Keizer Little League Park. I don't know where that came from. I saw that in the newspaper, and my phone started blowing up. I'm like, I don't remember having that conversation. So I don't know what happened there. So just so you know, you definitely would be fully aware of that before that actually occurred. So just so everybody knows, that's not a discussion that has happened. Going forward, we'll find out what happens, but that was not part of it. And then, yeah, you're correct, the RFP has not gone forward, so we'll wait to hear on that one. But I'm not on that committee, so I wait. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I think we're good. Thank
Awesome,
you.
thank you.
We have other business. So anybody updates, other business? I did have a question, and again, this is other business prompting as not, you don't need to have an answer. But I'm noticing that a lot of our city pump stations are underutilized as far as space. Is there ever an opportunity for some of those spaces or even throughways to ever be identified as parks? And the one that comes to mind is on the river. And I saw it when I went kayaking. It's right along the side, right next to Keizer Rapids. And so knowing that one it's Keizer Rapids residential, and there's a pump station up on the hill. And then further down is Sunset. That location. Yes?
It's a ways from Keizer Rapids.
It is, but it's down, well, I guess I was in a boat and it seemed like it was
I know what
really.
you're talking.
So
Yeah.
my thought is have we ever, or is it a possibility, not to say we want to grow parks, but we do want more opportunity for river connection. And so that property came to mind as, could we potentially do something? Because it is a big open grass area and access to the water. Even though that part of the river is pretty hard to access, you could see all like the floating dock, like they've got a bunch, but just thought about that.
I will find out and follow up.
The other one was the throughway through Manzanita. Manzanita's pump station, the street stops and it turns, but if we could have a pathway to go through that location potentially.
Okay.
That was the only thought I had. Any others? Other discussions? Sweet. We're adjourned at 6:43. I think the gavel was the funnest part of this whole situation up here.